I am Nyrobi. Nyrobi means a place of water. It means refreshing. And more than anything, I am my name. I feel my name. And I came by it really, very honestly. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm not a poet because I don't write. And I love people who can lyrically write prose and put together complicated soliloquies and stuff. That's just not me. I work off of energy. And whoever in the audience needs that energy is who gets it that day. You know, so anything that I give once will probably never be given again because that's just what it is. It's who it's for.
So she told me that she wanted to know all of the things that I know, all of the things that I didn't know, all of the things that I could teach her, all of the things that she had never seen, had never heard, had never even thought of doing. So we spent time talking about sex and sexuality, dildos and vibrators, whips and chains, ice cubes and fingers. She told me that she was curious to figure out how I learned all of the shit right up under her nose. And she couldn't quite understand what fascinated me so about this world that America and the rest of the world deems deviant, about this world that people outside of me and in the church think is something that the devil created, about this world that has no name and has so many names, and things that are tangible and things that are intangible, and desire and desire and desire. Because one minute she looked around and I was the little girl in her eyes, and the next minute she looked around, I was this woman that was standing beside me. And in that woman, the sexual being that I am has been liberated and freed. So she said she wanted to learn because she was damn near 50 and had never said the word penis in public. So she said she wanted to learn. She wanted to learn how I, as her seed, her daughter, had got to be this woman. Because she was afraid. She was afraid because she came from a culture that you don't speak those words, you don't talk those words, and yes, when you have sex, the lights are off, it is dark, and you don't talk about it once it's done. So she said she wanted to learn because she had no clue where the hell I picked this up from when all I did was went from home to school. So she said she wanted to learn because now that I'm somebody's mother, I say, Mommy, tell Isaiah to wash his penis. And she said, no, I'm not going to say penis. So she said she wanted to learn, and in the things that she wanted to learn, she wanted to know how to be sexually free without the guilt, without the shame, without the second guessing yourself, with being honored to be a woman, with embracing the cycles of life, with having titties and being okay with the displaying, with knowing that you can control the nation and you don't even have to give up the pussy, with having to know that sometimes, just sometimes, there is glory in just being a sexually liberated woman. Now, nothing too crazy, because you know my mama ain't no freak. Or at least that's what she told me. But she wanted to learn how I could easily talk about situations that people have been uncomfortable with since the beginning of time. Things whispered in back rooms. Things whispered in smoky bars with lights turned low and little candles lit. She wanted to know how I can stand in front of a crowd of 180 people and say stuff like, yeah, it's a dick. And I control 2 of them. She wanted to learn how I could stand in front of a room and say, hey, respect the coochie, because it's the only one you got. She wanted to learn how I can stand in front of people and say, all pussy ain't good pussy. She wanted to learn how I could stand boldly and be proud and say, yeah, mama, some men are sick, they do pay me to do that. She wanted to learn how I could bend over and be still and stand up and be proud and walk into the Lord's house with a top cut down to my navel and say, baby, Pastor Pride does not want to see your titties now that you're older. She wanted to learn how I had no fear and where I got that. And I turned around and I looked at my mom and I looked at the goddess that I had grown up seeing, and I said, you started it. I just took it and ran with it. Everything that you seek, I learned from you. Peace.